What's going on, wave riders? Welcome back to Lunar Beaches Crypto, where we ride the waves of the crypto market all the way to the moon. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on Bitcoin. Right now, we're on the daily chart. You can see we've gotten the broke above resistance, and we're getting a back test at this moment. Getting a little bit of a bounce. We'll see what will come of it. We do still have a fair value gap that we could potentially end up. Oh, we actually tapped it. We actually tapped the fair value gap. There's that daily fair value gap. We've gotten the tap and we're getting a bounce. And you can see on the 4 hour here, we've actually broken this downtrend and out of this channel. Does that mean the pullback is over? Maybe. This is a good sign. Now, it is important to note, let's go back to the daily and let's look at our oscillators. I do have the RSI on here as well. You can see some disagreement here on the top side of momentum, but Chart Prime calculates other things other than just relative strength, obviously. Otherwise, this would just be a relative strength line. Instead, this is just showing the current strength of a move, or rather, the momentum of the move, whereas the underlying strength might be a little stronger. So this is going to be closer tied to what's actually happening in price. This is going to be a little bit more of your underlying data, which is kind of supported by your true 7 still being a bit elevated, not putting in a lower high, and our money flow still being in the green above the zero line, even though it's coming down slightly, as you would expect when you get a little bit of a pullback. And going back to the 4 hour, we can see that our money flow is starting to pick up again. And we've almost pretty much reset on our momentum and our true 7. So what we want to look for now is we want to start to see these things curl back up. Really kind of probably want to see them come back up with some strength, not slowly. Which it is the weekend, so I wouldn't expect too much. So what could happen this weekend is we have all of these equal highs in here that I know will just love to get taken out. So let's see if it sweeps, comes back down, and then just consolidates going into Sunday open before we can get a real push to the upside. I'm leaning more towards this idea, as I do think we are more likely than not to get up to that 786 at the 101.730 level. If we can do that, that becomes a major resistance level. We want to watch our money flow. We want to make sure that we are hovering and still climbing going into that and not losing our momentum and our money flow. Because if we start losing our momentum and our money flow as we go into that, then more downside, or at least some temporary downside, becomes very possible. Now, just getting up to the 786 makes a downside move very possible, probable even. What would then be important is if we can come back, test the highs, and get continuation. Now, you don't typically see just swooping moves like this and a continuation. The question will then become, was this just a 3 drives higher? which would negate this, and this would become a bigger breakdown, to which we could then come back down and test the upwards trend, which is definitely possible. And if we test that upward sloping trend or support and get a bounce, we'd have to get above internal highs within the range from here to here. Get a pullback and get continuation. That would show that we're really seeing some strength, and that this isn't just a fake move. But we do have the value area high up here. We do have a high volume node up here at 108,600. And we also have a major supply zone. I mean, that's a supply zone. That's a supply zone. This is going to be the first supply zone that we got to get through. The top side of that is the value area high. So we do want to break that, and we do want to back test it, and we want to consolidate on top of it and then get continuation. So outside of that, let's get rid of all this noise. If we push to the upside, come down, come back up, that might be like a last hurrah type of moment. So we've got to be careful. If we reject, or even if we come up, we break it, but we fail to hold and come back up and then reject, then we're likely going to fall back down to at least the point of control, which rests at $91,443. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. It's just about, I still think we're going to get a continuation to 786. At the very least, getting into supply, and then we will have to go from there. We take it day by day, as always. But right now, getting into that supply, break down, come back down, test trend. We'd also be coming back down to test support on top of this level, as we have already done. Now, the bearish scenario would be breaking down, getting a back test of that level, either that one or the trend, wherever we would come back and back test it. I mean, if we came up here and then came down here, it would be right around here. So, I mean, it just all depends on when we would break it, where we would break it. And then if we back test and reject. If we back test and reject, well, then lower becomes much, much more likely. And this could be turning into, it has the potential to turn into just a giant bear flag. I've already thought that this move over here was going to turn into a bear flag itself. It has not done that yet. That does not mean it can't do it here. So, as always, we take it day by day, and we'll just have to see how things turn out. And it looks like we are getting that push to those highs. So let's see what it does from there. We also have a hourly fair value gap there. So rejection there would probably see that sideways consolidation throughout the rest of the weekend. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared for us to get this move and us not do really much of anything after that until the Sunday open. What could also happen is, since we have that fair value gap here and we have all of these equal highs, that's a lot of liquidity that could send this thing pushing higher. But again, It is the weekend, so I don't really expect it, and I don't trade the weekends because they are low volume, low volatility, and there's a lot more stop hunts and liquidity grabs going on during the weekend. The weekend is basically one long Asia session, is what it is. So now on the hourly, we are seeing a red money flow, so we are in the red on our hourly there. We are getting a VWAP over sold, and we are pushing our momentum to the upside. So I think what we will see I think we will at least get to those equal highs. Then it'll just be about what we do at those equal highs. We're going to come up, reject, come back up, and then come back down. Very possible. Or is it going to come up, hold, and then just consolidate for the rest of the weekend before Sunday open and then get our next move to the upside? We'll see. I'll see you guys tomorrow night during the live. And yeah, let's get it. I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical weekend. Go outside and touch some grass. I love you guys. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Mad love. Ride the waves. Bye.